Hey everybody, this is Dr. Goddess, and we just wrapped our performing history workshop with Roger Granberry Smith, and then we moved into a discussion on Do the Right Thing with Bill Nunn and Roger, and so it was fantastic. We talked about so many different things and so many different people, so make sure you check it out, and just brought this to you for your enjoyment, and you know Dr. Goddess is your intelligent source for entertainment. See you soon. Bye. All right, everybody. Here's one of the original posters from Do the Right Thing, a Spike Lee joint, signed by none other than Roger Granberry Smith, 40 Acres and a Mule, and my favorite part, the little girl with the chalk. Do the right thing.
Any comments you two would like to say before you take questions about the film, the experience of making it?
I would like to say, Mom, did you hear that? I'm an icon. Thank goodness I'm not an icon over at the house. Oh, love you, Mom.
Did you want to simply take their questions, or let it come out of that? We could do that.
I have a question. This is for Bill. I had a friend that I grew up with, knew him just about my whole life, and while at a party, there was a fight, and he was trying to break it up, and once the cops got there, they figured that he was the one who was fighting, and they did the same thing to him that they did to Radio Raheem. They put that knee in the back and cut off his breathing, and he died. I was just wondering, was there any sort of thing like that you used to prepare you for Radio Raheem? Because when they did that to him, I mean, this was before the police had done that to my friend as well. But when they did that to Radio Raheem, I was extremely angry. I mean, I ain't even going to get into it, but man, I was extremely, extremely angry. And was there anything, that isn't too personal that you might be able to share with us, and how you prepared for that?
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but the whole set was really electric that night when we did that. And it permeated beyond the set into the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood was electric. I just had to go with the material in the script, which was enough for me to go with, because, it's powerful stuff, this kid getting killed, really, I don't know if it's by accident or just bad situations, but it was hard not to do that scene in a powerful way, the way it just felt that night. You know what I mean? I've never experienced anything like that. The whole area was just hot, electric. And, me and Danny knew what we were going to do, and the cops, we were all friends, really. But we just got electric that night, man, right?
It was very intense. I think we had shot maybe 9 straight nights of all night shooting, meaning we would start when the sun went down and we would shoot until the sun went up. And then the penultimate scene came at the end, I think. So we were all wired. We had our clocks turned around completely. And it was the hottest summer in New York history. When you saw us sweating, that wasn't glycerin, in a water bottle that they had to spray on us. We earned our sweat. It was true sweat. There's something that I noticed just last year, Bill. I was walking down Lenox Avenue in Harlem, and there's a new independent cinema there, and they were showing Do the Right Thing, and I hadn't seen it for a long time, particularly on a big screen. And I said, I'm just going to walk in and sit in the back, and this will be an interesting experience. And I noticed for the first time in watching this film that Radio Raheem is about to kill Sal. You've got your hands around the man's neck, and somebody, the police come, I guess, and pull you off of him. And I think because of the investment in the character that I was playing, Smiley, who's obviously sympathetic to you, to your character, and because of the popular propaganda about the film in retrospect, I had never noticed how close Radio Raheem was coming to murdering Sal. And it could have gone the other way, in just like that. Because I had never noticed, how close that was to happening.
I mean, that radio meant a lot to him. He was quite pissed.
Yeah. Sal says, "I just killed your fucking radio," with a baseball bat.
I remember when we were doing that scene, and a lot of your character was improv, right? So he comes in there and he starts spitting on Sal. But, there's like extra spit flowing around, you know what I mean? I say, hey, calm down, man. You know what I mean? Don't get no spit on me now. Flip the script in there.
Well, the crazy thing is that Danny's son, who just passed
played the
last
cop.
year.
Rick
No,
passed away?
the stunt guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lost his son.
Oh, damn, that's Danny Jr.
Yeah, he came in and he did stunts for Danny Aiello in the fight scene, but he didn't have any exposure to who I was and what my disabilities were, and he certainly didn't have any exposure to me spitting. And so he came in for his dad, and Spike yelled, "Cut!" And he said, "Who the f is spitting?" And I see Spike, and he's just kind of in the background, waiting to say, "Roll the cameras," because he wanted to see what was going to jump off. That kind of director. And then he just kind of comes up to me and says, "All right, Roger, no spit, no spit." That was an interesting moment. But
And
yeah,
Danny was crazy.
Right.
Danny was telling his son, "Okay, you're me now. You're me now. Fight. You know how we do. He's doing all this crap." So it was like, okay, so I got to really fight. You know what I mean? It was by the numbers, but like I say, we really flew out the door, and it was real. It was like.
Martin Lawrence got
felt
poked in
real.
the eye.
Martin, you see in the movie, actually getting poked in the eye, and he's like, ah.
He wasn't acting.
And people's tempers were flaring, right? And John Turturro was pissed off. He wanted to go more by the numbers, and it was funny, But it was quite intense, though. I mean, it was strictly, nobody really got out of line. It was strictly professionally done, but it was very, very intense.
But in terms of the reaction to the film, a lot of the critical response, I mean, some critics went so far as to say that this was going to cause riots,
Exactly.
that pizza parlors were going to get burned down all over America, and none of that happened. But what did happen was that a young man by the name of Yusuf Hawkins went into the wrong neighborhood in Brooklyn and was murdered. And that happened the summer that Do the Right Thing was released in the summer of 1989.
And there have been incidents in the couple of years before that led Spike Lee to even write it.
Of course,
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Bumpus. I mean,
Michael Stewart,
the thing in
Howard Beach.
Eleanor Bumpers,
Eleanor Bumpers. Yeah,
Edmund Perry.
Tawana Brawley, and all kind of stuff that was in the news. But the main thing was the kid in Brooklyn, the Italian neighborhood who was killed. Right?
Well, there was a guy in Howard Beach who was chased into no, not Yusuf Hawkins. That happened the summer that the film came out. But Spike was inspired by the murders of, I think it's 5 people in the post school.
Or 6, actually.
6?
Yeah, I wrote them down, 6.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Bumpers, Griffith, Smallwood, Miller, Stewart, and Perry.
Bumpers is the one I think that got killed in Brooklyn.
We have a question over there.
I'm from Brooklyn, and I've lived in Bed-Stuy.
Brooklyn in the house.
That's right. And Radio Raheem, I went to see Do the Right Thing by myself because I couldn't get anyone to go that day. And I was determined that I would see Do the Right Thing. And Radio Raheem, he was my brother, and he was my brother's friends because they went around with their radios all of the time. You know, that was like their self-empowerment.
It was before,
They invaded
it was
space.
before Walkmans.
That's right. That's right. And so that was a real pivotal moment for me when I saw that scene. It wasn't that I didn't know it was going to happen, but the kind of delay and build up to it and the inevitability still overwhelmed me. And when I saw that this talk was going to happen, I was thinking, you know, there have been so many Radio Raheems, even since the film. So I want to know, you know, what do you think of that? Because we have Radio Raheems in the sense of external forces killing young black men. And then we have young black men killing young black men, even after all of these years. You know, how do we kind of still work on that issue?
Is that for me?
Everyone.
You know, when I was doing that film, I thought about, you know, the radio thing, and I had done it myself.
Okay.
And I was, you know, in my 30s, but I had walked around with a radio.
Mm-hmm.
People have a tendency, and I like rebel music too, like rap and reggae, you know. I like angry music, you know. People tend to want to impose what they like on people. That's why, like, now I hate hearing people in their cars with all this noise now. You know what I mean? I hate it now, but it's a tendency. It's a tendency to want to expose people to what they like. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it turns people off, though. They don't like it, and so that's the problem. I mean, I don't think that, and that can, like I say, that continues to today in cars with the loud things, and sometimes I want to shoot those people. what it is they think their music sounds so good, they want me to hear it, you know, and I'll like kind of dig them because I'm playing this really great music. So I don't know. I mean, that's something that really is happens, particularly with young black guys, but I hear a lot of young white guys playing angry music on their speakers too, you know. So you don't hear too many people playing symphony music or, you know, Perry Como that loud.
Well, I think that what you're talking about is one of, you know, the great moral dilemmas of our present moment. Fratricide, particularly black on black, brown on brown, brown on black, black on brown. And certainly in Spike's work, he has not shied away from that, from investigating in that very important issue. Clockers was certainly a film that focused on that in a very dynamic and I think effective way. Even another film that Bill and I did called He Got Game, in which it's father pitted against son, which is an internal domestic issue that I think is a dilemma in which we're engaged and which we continue to explore as artists. I'm very happy that we've all gathered here today because I think that that's important, that we recognize the significance of Do the Right Thing, not simply as a great piece of art, which of course it is, and it has been recognized as such, but as something which continues to compel us to engage vital issues.